All right, so it is week number 2 for me in the new shop, and things probably don't look a whole lot different, even though there has been a whole lot going on. I've been doing a ton of cleaning. I've been doing a whole bunch of administrative work and paperwork. Unfortunately, that takes up a lot of my time, and I haven't had the chance yet to get back on the drag truck chassis. But the very next thing that you guys see is going to be back here. We've got a bunch of rear suspension stuff to finalize, get our fuel tank mounted, get the shock cross member in, get the anti-roll bar in. Yes, the rear axle has moved forward, but that was just simply because we had to get it on the U-Haul trailer. So don't worry, we will get back to that at some point in the future. I don't know when, hopefully in the next video maybe. But anyway, cleaning, organizing, paperwork. Oh, also I wanted to give a big thank you to everybody who reached out after the last video that we uploaded. I said, if you want a job or if you want a vehicle to be worked on, you know, for custom build type stuff, to reach out, and I've got about 120 emails that I need to go through, which is going to take me some time. So if you don't hear back from me right away, don't worry, I will get back to you, but I've got a lot of them to go through, and I've got a lot of applicants specifically that I need to kind of try to figure out who will be the best fit. I think ultimately when we're up and running here, guys, I'm going to have probably 4, call them technicians, builders, 4 people helping me here in the shop. Probably have 1 guy in the front office, and possibly at some point when things get going good enough, I'll have somebody actually helping me with this, the YouTube side of things. I want to find an editor slash videographer type person who can, you know, instead of me holding the camera and, you know, talking to it and then editing myself, that's going to be the next major time saver for me. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. We're in the new shop. I somehow managed to be tracked down by Matt at Matt's Off-Road Recovery, and he sent me this little envelope right here. We're going to open that up in a second because I think you guys will be interested, especially if you're into 8.1 stuff, you will be interested in what we have in there. But first, I got some interesting new products and I wanted to show you guys. I had a company reach out. And I've seen this stuff on Instagram and social media before, and they said, hey, we want to send you some of these and let you try it out and let everybody, you know, you guys know what I think of it. So let's get that knocked out real quick, and then we'll talk about the envelope, and then we'll talk about the rest of the project. Okay, so the company that reached out is called Solderstick, and they make a couple different products, but this is the primary one that they kind of were interested in me checking out. Basically what we have here, you've probably seen these online if you're on, you know, any of the social medias like that. I've seen these a ton. So I was kind of interested to actually see them in person and try them out because when it comes to wiring, there's a million different methods and ways people prefer to join wires together, whether that's a crimp connector or heat shrink or a butt connector or what have you. But this is probably one of the most time-saving methods of connecting wires that I've seen yet. Basically, all you need is some source of heat because like they said, their name is Solderstick. This is actually like a heat shrink butt connector that has a little bit of solder in the middle there. So basically what you do is you slice your wires off, you strip the insulation from the wire just like you normally would, you slide them inside the solder stick connector, and then you apply some heat, and that does 2 different things. Number 1, it actually shrinks down the outside heat shrink, but number 2, it melts that little bit of solder to kind of actually connect the 2 wires and make the connection. So to me, that's like a really interesting concept. I've got a couple different ones I've done here, and at first, I'll admit, I was pretty skeptical about how strong these actually would be in terms of like being weatherproof. It's a heat shrink connector, so of course you're not going to get any sort of like moisture or corrosion inside these, but the question is like, how strong are they once they're fully put together? So there's one I just randomly grabbed. This is like 14 gauge wire, so if I can do this kind of one-handed, let's see, use my foot there. See, this is why I need a videographer. But anyway, so we just got the wire, and I'll just kind of give it a good strong tug, and yeah, that's about as strong as I can pull just with my fingers there, and yeah, that really hasn't actually budged a little bit. And that was kind of the one thing that I was skeptical about, was how well are these connectors actually going to hold together? So as far as I'm concerned, that is a pretty slick solution to wiring. If you don't want to deal with, you know, crimping on your butt connectors or manually soldering and then sliding over some heat shrink tube, basically you need to get a set of, you know, these guys here. And they come in different sizes. Let's see, they have anything from 12 to 10 gauge on the big size and 24 to 26 on the small size. And this kit here, 500 pieces, and you get, obviously the most common size is going to be kind of in the 22 to 14 gauge range. So that ought to last you for quite a while. So check those guys out, Solderstick. They also sent me one of these because I asked them to, because I figure I'll probably use these quite a bit. And these, I believe, they're just like the ring terminals. They don't have the same like solder technology in there, but you crimp these on and then you heat shrink them to kind of have a nice sealed connection. We also have, I think, about the same range of connector, everything from a, let's see, blue is 16 to 14. Oh no, we go all the way up to 12 to 10 and as small as 22 to 18 gauge. So these are the two products that they sent over. Solderstick is the name of the company. I'll put the information down below in the description. And I believe they also have a code that will save you guys 20% off your first order, which I believe, let me check my notes here. Yeah, use discount code LT20. That'll get you 20% off. So check out Solderstick. And like I said, yeah, it's an interesting new way to connect wires together. It'll save you time, it'll save you hassle, and then basically all you need, I got a bunch of wiring tools here, but basically all you need is some way to strip the ends of the wire. You don't need a crimper, you don't need anything like that. Just, you can either use it with a butane type torch like that, or I couldn't find an extension cord right away, but you can also use it with a traditional heat gun if you want to do that. So, Solderstick, check them out. Now, if you guys have watched my channel for any length of time, you've probably picked up on the fact that I like big engines. I like big cubic inches, I like lots of torque, and I also like things that are a little bit odd and unique. And that's kind of what started my journey with the Ugly Truck project about 3 years ago now, swapping in a GM Gen 7 8.1 liter big block. Now, at the time, and probably still to this day, I am one of the few people who actually have used that power plant. Most everybody goes for the LSs or Coyotes, or there's a million different engines out there, but I think it's safe to say I'm probably one of the few that have modified it and used it in application like a race truck. But anyway, because of that, about a year ago, through the magic of the internet, I was contacted by Matt at Matt's Off-Road Recovery. Now, if you have seen his channel, you're familiar with what he does, but basically he lives down in southern Utah and he has a recovery business where he'll go out and rescue stranded people, whether they're in razors or motorhomes or trucks or whatever. If they're in the snow, the mud, the sand, or broken, he'll come and get you in southern Utah. Now, he also built some pretty cool off-road specific recovery vehicles. He's got an XJ Cherokee called the Banana. It's got like a 4-liter stroker, straight 6-net. He's got the Morvair, which is a really cool old Corvair wagon, that's got, I think, like 1-ton axles underneath it, 4-link, and all that cool off-road specific stuff. And his newest build is the world's largest off-road wrecker. I don't know if he has another name pending for it or not, but that's what it's been called. And this thing is massive. I've seen it in person a couple of times. It's got, I forget what they're called, but the axles are like these big, massive axles. It's on giant tires, and it's a heavy, heavy setup. But anyway, about a year ago, he contacted me with a few questions about the 8.1 engine platform that I had been using in my Ugly Truck project. Now, if there was any engine that was great for what Matt's doing, it's the 8.1 big block, because it makes a ton of torque, it makes a fair amount of power, and is perfect for moving heavy vehicles. So although I probably can't take full credit, I'm going to take at least a little bit of credit for Matt using that particular engine in his off-road wrecker. So anyway, he bought a Suburban for a donor. He grabbed the 8.1 and the 4L85 out of there, and he stuck it in the wrecker, and it's actually now running and driving. Now, along the way, he also has developed this really cool event called the Off-Road Olympics, the Wrecker Olympics, that's what he called it. And I have got a piece of mail here from Matt, and I think I know what it is. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Of course I know what it is. I've already opened it, but check it out, guys. I have a silver ticket. I have an exclusive invitation to be a judge in the first annual, maybe? I'm probably speaking out of turn, but at the first Wrecker Olympics. So I am really excited about that, to see not only the world's largest off-road wrecker in action, powered by an 8.1, which I'm stealing some credit for, that decision, but also a couple of other cool off-road, specifically built off-road recovery machines in action. Now, this is something that you guys can actually watch too, and if you want to, come say hi to, Matt and the team and all the other competitors, I'll be down there as well. March 9th, 10th, and 11th, and it is taking place in Hurricane, Utah. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure they hate it when you say hurricane, but it's in Hurricane, Utah, Sand Hollow State Park, March 9, 10, and 11. Now, if you want to go, if you want tickets, check out mattsoffroadadventures.com. I'll put that link down below for you to check out. You can get yourself a ticket. There's all sorts of fun stuff going on. It's a spectator event. Like I said, I'm repeating myself, but I'll be there. You guys can be there too. But mainly, I'm just excited to see some of those cool vehicles in action and maybe get some inspiration, because now that I live in Colorado, there's a huge off-roading community around here. So I'll probably have to build something like this for myself at some point, get into the off-road scene. But anyway, yeah, really pumped about that opportunity, guys. And like I said, if you like 8.1 big blocks, I'll also be making some video content while I'm down there of the action. So you can check that out here. Go check out Matt's YouTube channel if you like 8.1 stuff. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to wrap up this week's video. I promise I'm going to try to get back on this drag truck chassis very soon, because time is ticking away, guys. The next thing that we're going to do, which I might have said this already in this video, but we have the front pretty much 100% done in terms of suspension. The back suspension is kind of done, but we need to work some more on the frame. So that's my fuel tank right there. I've got to make some room for it in here. I've got to move some cross members around. I've got to build a cross member for the anti-roll bar. I've got to get some shock mounts put in here. I've got to get the rear end centered, get some tabs welded on the axle for both the anti-roll bar and for the shocks. Once we get that done, we can figure out some drive lines. Still got to get a transfer case. But yeah, anyway, haven't forgot about this. Speaking of 8.1 stuff, this is actually based on an 8.1, but this is kind of like the bigger, badder aftermarket brother. So that's a 530, I say 535, I think it's actually a 538 cubic inch big block, Gen 7. So we have a goal of getting this going sometime. I have no idea when, guys, but we're going to crank on it as fast as we humanly possibly, as fast as humanly possible. Anyway, I'm tired, guys. Thank you for watching. Come back soon.